The ACS rolls into Delaware here for the AAA 100 at Dover. We have a bit of a surprise pole sitter here today. That is Orioles in the number 15 Aflag Camry, fresh off of his first career win at Salem in a taken over thick motorsports entry. Big Blue to his outside. Then we have a couple of unfamiliar faces in the next couple rows. Anderson Reed, Dumbledore in row 2, and then row 3, Oak Assassin. A surprise to see him this high up. And the 54 of Chris Jericho. Two thick motorsports cars in the top 6. Looking at points, Dale Reynolds still holds a 52-point lead over now Nick Sam, with a further 18 back to BKR. What Incarnation and Irishman round out the top 5 in points. The pace car tiptoes its way off the racetrack as we're about to get set. And the green flag is waving, and we are underway here in the first state. And this track, it is pivotal to be on the bottom. And look at that. Orioles, though, is going to get booted out of line by the Mopar Dodge of Anderson Reed. But Orioles is going to be able to hang on for now. As look at these guys, they're going 4 wide. Zach put in the middle between Penguin and Dumbledore. Yes, that is Penguin. That's the first time that we've seen him in quite some time in that very cursed-looking Wrangler Toyota, as One Incarnation gets turned down the back straightaway. And here we go, back up into the traffic. And we've got a big crash. Herman's involved. They're still crashing. Nick's gotten turned onto the apron, and his car is heavily damaged. And that is One Incarnation. 2 drivers within the top 5 in points. Hunter is damaged. Herman has crashed. And Orioles is going to lead him back to the caution. It only took us 2 laps here. And looking back, that is the 00 of J-Rack. That has moved his way up into 4th. This may be J-Rack's final start in the series. So seeing him running this early on is quite a surprise. So we're going to go aboard the chase cam here of Nathan Chiani, who turns Carnation into the path of What If Racing. And Carnation is then just taken as a passenger. And we're going to go on board here with the defending winner of this race, Nick Sant, who has taken his car to the garage. He was second in the championship standings. And that impact with the 57, he's got no left front steering, and then he gets turned from behind. Looks like Goki got a piece of that in car number 12. We're going to take a look, another view. This is the chase camera aboard Hunter B. Thick Daddy gets into Herman, which sends Herman and Hunter sliding to the bottom of the track. And that's going to cause some damage for them both. There you see Nick's destroyed car coming to rest. Nick would be the only car to be retired for the day. Carnation 957 still running, although he is 1 lap down and will likely be off pace. But as mentioned, Nick and Carnation both in the top 5 in points, 2nd and 4th respectively. And they are both going to have rather miserable days, as Nick will be credited with a last place finish. Pace car ducks onto pit road as we're about to get set, as the duck car, driven by Orioles, is going to lead him back to the flag as we are back underway. Let's look how slow Carnation is. Anderson Reed gets a good jump from 2nd, as the rest of the field now is going to have to try and scramble their way around Carnation as Penguin gets trapped up high. But MDF in the 03 is going to get held up behind Carnation. We'll see if Penguin can actually keep up with that outside lane, as Wrangler now shoving the back of the 03 as he wants to get by, which they are able to do. MDF's had a very middle-of-the-road season. He's got 2 top 10s on the year, but doesn't have a top 5. Now Carnation holding up Penguin. And Zach, although I think a lot of the field would like to see Zach go to the backwards, it's because, well, Well, Zach's gotten into quite a few accidents this season, and he's not really... he hasn't been fast really anywhere that we've gone. Now, that is Wrangler still trapped up high. Let's look at... That is the new paint job on the 43, the Hulu car of Bacon Rocks. We got McCromin Hirohito. He goes by. Mark Silas goes by. Penguin was well inside the top 5, and he's now back. Last time by was back to 20th. It doesn't appear that the damage on Herman nor Hunter's cars has affected them too much. They're still keeping up with most of the field. There's Irishman back here in the lower midfield, who's likely going to gain at least a position from Carnation. Look at Savage Toy Show. He goes 3 wide, and that's the 39 of JD639YT that follows him. And Savage Toy Show jumped 7 spots in the standings to move up into P17. As now Penguin is caught 3 wide between Carnation and Pip-Boy Flynn, and then it's Chemo in the 5 that goes by them both. Carnation now jamming up Jimmy and Do the Do. Do the Do, by the way, is closing in on 100 starts in the near future. And here is Dale Reynolds, the championship leader, back in the 30s. Meanwhile, nothing has changed up front. It is still Orioles. We got a battle here for 4th between J-Rack and Big Blue. Big Blue won this season in the one of the closest finishes to date when he won at Homestead, Miami over Hunter. Oak Assassin, he's had some solid runs when he can actually qualify for races, such as now, as he won 2nd place on Anderson Reed. And Anderson Reed has not had a good season. He's currently the 2nd worst driver in points to have started all 10 races, only to Jose the Potato. This top 5 has broken away a little bit from 6th place MDF. Then it's Wrangler, Jericho, Dumbledore, and What If Racing rounding out the top 10. As Oak Assassin maybe putting the bumper here to Anderson Reed. But none of these guys have been able to make a challenge on Orioles quite yet. Here is Do the Do. He's going to try to make a pass on Herman. These guys are way down the order. Oh, there's contact. Herman gets put on the grass. He comes back up into Do, and they make contact, and Herman goes hard into the wall. And that will be his 2nd accident of the race. Just like that for Richard Herman, the yellow is out, and that 53 Coca-Cola Dodge, that thing is toast. Here come the leaders. We are under yellow for the 2nd time. That 53 car, yeah, he got turned by Do, and I wonder if he was going to try and go for payback. Although it appears that car got worse for wear compared to Do, who has some right side damage, but he should be fine. As now we have pit stops, as Orioles will lead the field down pit road. Amazingly, they're going to try and repair the 53, although that may be a lost cause. I don't see a single car that has not decided. Likely it's going to be, I'd say, 4 tires and fuel. The tire fall off here is pretty serious, as Big Blue runs into Anderson Reed, and Dumbledore did the same to Oak Assassin. They're very lucky that they did not stall their cars out. We'll see if Orioles can have the pit work. That's what he prevailed with at Salem, where Dew Storm fell by the wayside. Oak Assassin crashes into the back of Dumbledore in the pit lane. And Orioles has stalled his car in the pits. But he gets it back going, but he's going to lose a ton of time. There's more mayhem going on in the pits between Carnation and BKR, who is trapped behind Penguin. And BKR, that's another driver in the top 5 in points. That is now, I think that's all 5 of them that have had their own issues today, because Reynolds is way in the back. Let's get a replay here. BKR is leaving his pit stall. Carnation gets into him, but Carnation's trying to get into his pit stall, but he doesn't let BKR by, and BKR crashes into the back of Penguin, and then Carnation runs into the back of BKR. That's significant damage to all 3 of those cars. Let's get a replay here to what actually brought out the caution. On board the chase cam of Richard Herman. And yeah, dude definitely got into the back of him. And Herman, that's a little tough to call to see if Herman tried to retaliate or he lost control while trying to rejoin the track. Nonetheless, Herman skates up the track and crashes into Do. And that 53 car, I believe, has retired. Waiting for scoring to come around, as BKR is going to rejoin the track, although I believe he is a lap down. As Anderson Reed has taken over the lead through pit stops, Orioles has fallen back to 7th place. So we're about to get set here to start lap 22, and the green flag is out. And we'll see here how fast these lap cars are going to get out of the way, and they seem to be doing that as they are both very slow. Only on Wheels running up in the 6th position. He won the pole here last year and was a contender to win all day. Meanwhile, BKR is going to jam up about 9th place on back as he jams up Jose, Oak, Chris, as J-Rack is trying to use the lap car of Carnation as a pick. What's going on here? They're going 4 wide for the lead. Somebody got punted. I think it was Anderson. They were going 4 wide. As now MDF and Only on Wheels have gained control in the bottom. They're going to shove What If Racing out to dry. As now Big Blue wants to make a move on Reed for the race lead. Hey, that rhymes. And it looks like the Red Bull Chevy is going to be able to clear Reed out of 2. Not quite yet. Through 3, and he's got it. And Only on Wheels is going to follow him through to take 2nd place. As MDF is roughing up Anderson Reed. Now, don't think that's the smartest move to do. Anderson Reed is known for being a very aggressive driver. MDF now tucks in behind the Dodge. But once again, on his bumper, gets him the boot. Gets him out of shape, but that's going to allow Rango to make a pass. Somehow, on the outside, he manages to get a run. But that's not going to work out, as now MDF is going to try to get by Reed, as Only on Wheels goes for the lead on Blue. And he's going to get it through 4. And we have another lead change. Meanwhile, Orioles is trying to recover from that botched pit stop. He's still running in 7th, even though he got held up by the lap cars. Here's Bacon Rocks that has moved into the 10th position. She's been pretty impressive, speaking that she's only run 7 races so far. She's recorded a top 10 finish, and right now she's on set to get her 2nd top 10 of her career. And here's Chris Jericho, won earlier in the season, but since then has kind of fallen off a cliff. He's fallen back to outside of the top 15 in points. He's currently residing in the 18th position. And there's the unsponsored number 5 of Chemo, who wants to make a pass on J-Rack, who has fallen way down the order after he got pinned high. And Savage Toy Show is also going to take the opportunity, as his Golden Peak Ford should get past. And that is the number 10 Air Force machine. That is another one of the part-timers. That is Yoshi. I'm sorry, no, that is not Yoshi. That is Adam Mitchell. Yoshi ran that car earlier in the season, but yes, that is Adam Mitchell in the Dumbledore car, the Air Force number 10. Here's Logan Man, in the DRC Taco Bell number 76, as Bacon Rocks. I jinxed her. She's fallen out of the top 10. Taking her spot is Pantalica, the winner of the Featherweight Sportsman Series Championship last season. Irishman gets into the back of Logan. Logan's going to try to come back across the track. Chops in front of Irishman. I don't think he'll like that too much. Although Irishman has made some steady progress through the field after he was back around the mid-20s. DGF and Kiani also running just outside of the top 10. This is a battle for around 12th, 13th, and 14th. As now Kiani, this is, I believe, for the 14th position, trying to make a pass on DGF. DGF has had a self-proclaimed unlucky season, although, judging by where he is in points, I would very much disagree with him as he's currently sitting 7th. Thick Daddy gives the boot to Pantalica. He goes flying down across Thick Daddy and into Bacon Rocks, and they both go hard into the wall. They slide down the track, and more cars pile up. Dale Reynolds, the championship leader, is in it. Chase Elliott TV in the 94 is destroyed, and Carnation comes in with the ARCA brakes and decides that he wants to be a part of the accident too. And we are back under yellow. Rule of thumb today is that you don't go aggressive into turn 1. And, well, as you saw there, a bunch of cars are now totaled. As Only on Wheels is going to lead the field into pit road. We'll see if anybody is going to stay out. But look at that. The 94 is toast. Dale Reynolds, the championship leader, out of this race. Pantalica, out of this race. And we were just commenting on how Bacon Rocks was having a good run. I see Dumbledore staying out. But Bacon Rocks, her race is over. What if racing crashes into Only on Wheels on pit road? That's the race team that's got damage to the right rear of his car. We'll see. Orioles hard into the side of Big Blue. Look at the size of the dent on the right side of that 44 car. Zach runs into Penguin. That's the second time the Penguin's been hit on pit road. Only on Wheels is going to maintain his lead. Reed comes out in second. Orioles is going to lose more time in the pits. He's going to fall out of the top 10. Only on Wheels is going to be the first car off pit road. Although he will not be first on the restart, as we have got several people that have stayed out. Let's take a look here as what has brought out the caution on lap 33. On board with Thick Daddy and Pantalica. Yeah, just gives him the boot, and Pantalica trying to save it or trying to come back in line. Just comes across the nose of Thick Daddy and goes into the wall. And Bacon Rocks was just an innocent bystander in all of that. We're going to go on board her chase cam. Cam gets booted, and then the payback or attempt to join the track, and they both go hard into the wall. Bacon's the one that gets hit by both Reynolds and Chase. I saw Hunter B. I didn't see him at first, but he was involved in the crash. And then Carnation must be jacked up on Pepsi again. Because, dear God, he did not know where the brakes were. On board with your championship leader, Dale Reynolds, who has taken his car to the garage, although is uninjured, as he slams. That's a very nasty impact into Pantalica. And there was some other shenanigans, as 3 drivers have stayed out. Adam Mitchell has taken over the lead, with Dumbledore in second, and Mark Silas in 13 in third. 38 laps in the books as the number 10 will lead the field here to the green flag. And here we go. BKR still off pace. Silas third. Only on Wheels is the first of the cars that pitted. He's back in fourth. Then it's Reed. What If Racing, Wrangler, MDF, Blue, and Jose. The top 10, although Jose is going to get passed by Logan. Let's see how quickly these cars with fresher tires can claw their way through. They've already dispatched of Mark Silas. Now they're going to set their sights on Dumbledore. Let's look at this back in the field. BKR is causing a roadblock as he's going to hold up Jericho, and some more are going to fall in line behind him. J8629. The BKR is in a bad spot here. Jericho turns BKR into the wall. And that was kind of predictable. I'm surprised that was the first time that we've seen a lap car get turned around. The yellow flag is back out. So here's Priya McShane. She's racing with J-Rack. Oh, she did almost the same thing. She just turned J-Rack. And J-Rack's back across the track, and her and McShane go into the wall. And the 87's involved. But McShane and J-Rack have just taken out each other under the yellow flag. Oh, boy. And Priya McShane, well, there was going to be no cars out of the race after the initial accident. Now it's going to take 2 out, as we've got the people that did not pit under that previous caution. Big Blue's coming down for some reason. I wonder if he may be worried about a flat tire. So here's the initial accident. Jericho pretty much flat out dumps BKR. Now this car's okay. It's damaged. This thing's badly beat up. But it's still able to continue. We're going to go on board here with the Blue Bunny, number 54. See, he just rides on his bumper and then just turns him. I think he realizes now that he's not going to be taking any crap from these lap cars. Now we're going to go coming back to the line, focused in here on Priya McShane. And I think she's going to do the same thing that we've been seeing all day. She turns J-Rack, and J-Rack tries to rejoin the track and comes across right in front of McShane. He's not clear, and they both go into the wall. And I believe New Shade's car, the 87, got a piece of it with the right front. If any, it was relatively minor, because McShane and J-Rack, the latter of which likely making his final series start, both of them have retired from the event. As this field is quickly shrinking here, and we are not even halfway into this 100-lap race. We have only got 33 cars left on the track, as Only on Wheels is going to lead the field, coming to start lap 46 of 100. Anderson Reed is in second, then it's Wrangler, What If Racing, MDF, Logan. Irishman's moved his way into the top 10, then it's Oak Assassin, Savage Toy Show, first time I'm seeing him up here, and Jose. As BKR is going to logjam the 60 of Savage, will we see the same thing? There's Orioles, who has gotten put back in the field because of his lousy pit crew. But Oak Assassin setting up for a nice top 10 finish. That's something that he needs to see this season. Here is Wrangler. Kind of one of the more under-the-radar drivers that we've seen. Definitely one driver that we don't talk about too much. And, well, maybe he'll change that today, because he's been Relatively anonymous this season. He's had 1 top 5, 3 top 10s. He's 14th in the standings. I think he's out here to prove that he's just more than that. He's more than just your average run-of-the-mill driver. As Anderson Reed is making a peek on Only on Wheels for the lead. Only on Wheels got a really big run, but then he got loose out of the corner. Here comes Reed. I think he's going to get it, and he's going to leave Only on Wheels on the outside because here comes Wrangler. Next time by, we will be halfway through this race. We got What If Racing here, who's had an absolutely terrible season, that number 7. Sits 47 in the standings. He's only qualified for 4 out of the 11. I should say this is his 5th race out of 11. He hasn't even made half of them. And he's running in 5th. That is a run that he is in bad need of. Logan in the 76. Also, not had the greatest of seasons. He's running in 6th at the moment. That's another good run for that team. With all of the carnage that we've had, Reynolds is out of the race. Nick is out of the race. Carnation is out of the race. BKR is off the lead lap. And Hunter is crashed. He's still running out there. It opens up the door for drivers like DGF, who's still running, I believe, still inside the top 15. Irishman is the biggest name right now. He came into this race 5th in points. Over 100 behind Dale. But he's going to cut a large amount out of that gap because he's running in 7th as they run. Big Blue could be another driver that gains a lot, although he had to make a pit stop under that caution for some reason. Maybe a flat tire. But he's no longer up here at the front, and he's mired in the back. As Logan's going to make a pass on Only on Wheels, he's going to take 4th away. As the 17 gets by his own driver. Yes, that is All In Motorsports. Currently running 6th and 7th. So we're going to go further back through the field. DGF is running back in the 12th position. Here's the Exalted number 48 of Jimmy, who's battling here with JD639. JD6 is a driver that could pick up a lot. He's running in around 15th place. And Orioles making his ACS debut. He's led laps, he scored the pole, and he's been running inside the top 10 for majority of this race. He just got around Jose to take 9th. And Orioles probably could be a contender to win this race if it wasn't for his pit crew. So we got a battle here. This is around for, I believe, the 14th position, as Jimmy's going to get around the 39 of JD639. Only on Wheels, I don't think he's content right now with running in 5th place. Because that Pepsi Camaro, it's been a lot faster than what we've seen of him so far. And I know that for a fact that he's going to be faster than at least the 3 cars in front of him. Anderson Reed's probably his closest challenge. MDF in the 03, he was a contender to win at the Homestead race, although he got shuffled out of line late in the going. He's going to try to lead his first laps of the races. He's gotten up to the bumper of Anderson Reed. He's made a habit of punting other cars so far today. And he's riding on that bumper of Anderson. We'll see if he gives him the bump. He does. Can he get to the bottom and get a run through 3 and 4? And it looks like he will. MDF is going to take the lead. As next time by, there will be 40 laps to go in the race. It's finally nice to have a green flag run in here, as Anderson Reed's going to get forced out of lane. And here comes Wrangler. As I see BKR's crawling car up ahead. That could cause some mayhem. As Logan is going to get around and will move into 3rd. And Anderson Reed is going to fall a long way back unless he can find a spot in line. Here comes Only on Wheels. And there's no way that he's going to let that 31 slide by. as BKR is now caught by the leader. He's going to get forced out of lane as Anderson Reed does find a spot back in the 5th position. He doesn't go all the way to the back of this line. As now the field is pretty much single file on the bottom. So getting around BKR shouldn't be too much of an issue. He's going a second lap down. But yeah, Irishman in that 17 is in 6th place. He is definitely set on getting a big points haul on the front runners as Logan gets forced out of the lane for 3rd, and here comes Only on Wheels. He says thank you very much. As Oak Assassin wants P7 on What If Racing, and I see Jimmy, he's having some issues negotiating with the BKR machine. This is a battle for 7th between cars 7 and 8 for positions 7 and 8. Looks like Oak's going to get the run, and he's going to clear. As Logan, much like Reed, was able to slap back in line in the 5th position. Here's the 14 of Know Nothing. Won the series' biggest race to start up the season at Daytona. But since then hasn't really been up near the front. But here, he's going to try and get past Jose to move himself into the top 10. As Orioles has gotten around What If to move into P8. That is Jimmy now, who's gotten himself in a pretty good spot because Know Nothing here is going to take 9th from What If. And Jimmy is going to move into 10th. Jose trying to get around What If Racing, but Pit-Boy Flynn seizes the opportunity. And he's going to get by Jose. What If Racing tries to throw the block, but Flynn's going to pick off 2 here in the same lap. And he's going to go from 13th to 11th. Not missing anything up front is still MDF with about half a second margin between himself and Wrangler. As now Jose is going to get around the number 7. That is for 13th place. Goki there back in 15th, and then DGF in 16th. As What If Racing finally slides in the line, I believe, in the 14th position. He was running in the top 5 earlier. Here's Josh Dude getting around DGF. This is for 16th place. And Double Bore is going to follow. He's going to move into 17th. He's on fresh tires. He's the first of those cars on fresh tires. It appears that their strategy didn't really work out so well. Although they do have a little bit longer fuel, I don't think that's going to matter too much, however. Only on Wheels, though, has been right on the back bumper of Wrangler these last couple laps. He wants to get around for 2nd. Only on Wheels mentioned earlier here that he won the pole and was very fast. He did end up getting a top 10, but I think this year he's definitely got the fastest car. As Jimmy looks like he wants to get around Know Nothing for 9th. And Jimmy was in the top 5 in points at one point earlier in the year. Didn't run very well last week. And a top 10 should get him right back up into the mix. Only on Wheels going to try again as they're now under 30 laps to go. And we've got another lap car. That is the one of Hunter B. As DGF's going to complete a pass on Josh Dune. I think this is still the battle for... this is the battle for 17th now. As then it's Penguin. And then Do the Do is back in 20th. And here's a battle for a spot in the top 15. Double Bore's going to get around Goki. And maybe those fresh tires will work out. He was back around the mid-20s. He's up to 15th. And now Hunter B is going to let MDF by. See if he's going to cause some havoc for anybody else. No, it doesn't appear to be. Hunter's gotten involved in a couple of accidents today. He got involved in the initial accident with Herman and Nick, and then got involved in probably the bigger accident after he came in late with Dale Reynolds. But Hunter could have seized a bunch of points, and technically he's going to gain some as he's out there ahead of Nick. But that man behind him right there, that 17 of Irishman, he's going to be the big gainer if he can maintain his spot right now inside the top 10. Because that Amazon entry he's been the one to pick up the pieces, as Orioles, for a while there, looked like he was going to get stuck behind Hunter. But Orioles been very, very impressive. I wouldn't be surprised to see this young man up in one of these cars full-time next season. Jimmy continues to run after the 14 of Know Nothing for P9. I think Jimmy knows that he's got the faster car. He just can't really find a time to make a move. Oh, look at this. The first car that Hunter decides to hold up is his teammate, Pit-Boy Flynn. Here's Dumbledore. He wants 14th. I should mention that Dumbledore, we didn't think that these fresh tires would work out because he got put so far back in the field after he was running up front. As Jimmy does get around the 14 to move into the 9th spot. But Dumbledore fell back to around the mid-20s, around 26th or so when he had to make that pit stop. But he's up to 14th. And here comes Irishman as he's going to get around Logan as the lap car of BKR reappears. Going a third lap down. And Irishman is now in the top 5. Logan is jammed up behind BKR, who's been by far the most annoying back marker today. At least Carnation got himself drunk on Pepsi and decided to exit the race himself so he wouldn't cause any more harm. Although BKR doesn't seem to learn that way. And Logan is going to fall outside of the top 10 as Jericho and Flynn both move up as Know Nothing got trapped on the outside. As look at Logan, he is still stuck behind BKR, and he finally bumps him out of the way and gives him the one-finger salute. So now Orioles is trying to get around Oak Assassin for 6th place, but he slips wide through 1. Jimmy sees an opening. He's going to go for it. This is for 7th. And that may have been a rookie mistake there by Orioles that may cause him to not only lose this spot, but fall down the running order. Although he is able to slip in line for now. But he slips wide again. You got to be careful when you do that. But, oh, Flynn gives him the bumper down the back straightaway. But that's going to cause instant karma for Flynn because now he is on that unpreferred line, and Jericho and Know Nothing sees an opportunity, and Know Nothing's going to try to get around Jericho. But Flynn recovers from that surprisingly. And now Know Nothing is going to try and move back into the top 10. As we got a battle, Jimmy continuing his march through the field. He's going to get around Oak Assassin here to move into 6th. Unfortunately, though, the leader is about 2 seconds ahead of him. As Logan is going to make a pass on Jose. I believe this is for the 12th position. And Dumbledore is going to move up to 13th. Here because he's going to be able to get to the bottom of Jose. These are 2 Nick Sant racing cars battling it out, the 74 and the 49. number more was going to get the spot. It's the other drivers that took that gamble. Big Blue, since that whatever problem that he had, he has not recovered. He's back in 24th. And Mark Salas is outside of the top 20, I believe, as well. Here's Jericho, running in 11th. Orioles drifted wide again, and Flynn's going to see another chance to get by the rookie. But to no avail that time. Still nothing has changed up at the front. The top four have stayed the same. It is MDF, Wrangler, Only on Wheels, and Anderson Reed. MDF has about a 7/10 of a second gap over the 41 of Wrangler, and I see the 87 of Newshade up in the distance. Newshade caught a piece of that accident. I wonder if he's got damage from that or he's got some other issue. But now with under 10 laps to go, can anybody do anything to catch that 03 car? That is going to be the question. As Flynn, who had been the one sizing up Orioles, is getting sized up himself here by nothing, but is unable to make a move. And it's been two very different halves of this race. The first half was basically if you survived out on the track, you seemed like you were going to get a good finish. But now in the second half, a lot more technical, a lot calmer here. As Jimmy wants a spot in the top 5, he wants to get around Irishman. And Jimmy came from way back in the field in order to get up here, as Dumbledore wants to get around Logan for the 12th spot. But he's unable to complete a run. As this top 3 have now fallen, I should say second, third, and fourth, this group of 3 have fallen a second behind MDF. As Newshade in the 87 is about to get lapped. And that is the Pertec number 87. That time by, there is 7 laps to go in the race. Can anybody catch MDF? MDF, this would be from Miami, where he was so close. He was very fast, but ultimately got put out of line with less than 5 laps to go in sight of his first win of the season. Last season for MDF, it was such a struggle, often getting into crashes and getting involved with his teammate at the time, CBF. And MDF has been made a steady road to recovery. This season, at the very least, he's come close to winning a couple of races. And now with 4 laps to go, he is nearly on sight to get his first win of the season. Newshade likely not going to be a factor. He's still got a full 1 second lead over Wrangler. Although Newshade may cause some issues. Newshade's going to go to the bottom. Not much time lost yet. 3 to go. The gap hasn't changed much. Only lost not even 1/10 of a second between the top 2. And that is BKR, who's also going to get reeled in. We'll see if he's going to become a factor. But once again, MDF unable to pass Newshade. Newshade wants to stay on that lead lap. 2 laps to go. BKR going to be in the way. Hey, up top. But the 2 lap cars go side by side in front of the 03. That could have been a scare, but BKR, thankfully, does get forced out of line. And I think that's going to be it, as MDF's going to come around turn 4 to take the white flag. Wrangler closed in a lot on that lap, but now these 3 are going to get held up by BKR in a sick twist of fate, as the 03 is going to pull away, as the lap car is going to allow Only on Wheels to take second and Reed to try to take third away. But it's not going to matter, as coming off turn 4, the 03 of MDF is going to win here at Dover. In a very clean second half of the race, two topsy-turvy halves for sure. Results on screen now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time for some more FSS.